music is something you can do from childhood to grave. I mean, you can do it by yourself or with a bunch of people, and then I figured out that was, when I was younger, that was the best way to get girlfriends. Learn to play music.
I get inspiration from everyday life, struggles, other people's struggles, and when I write music, honestly, I kind of have a chip in my shoulder. I feel like I need to spread that out, and in all honesty, I feel like not enough young black, artists don't, articulate their words in the correct way. So I want to be able to break that barrier and do that for people and help, open, like a pathway for other black artists.
I mean, it's what I love to do, so it's my favorite hobby. It's my passion. I guess I can't entirely explain why. Everybody expresses themselves through different mediums, and I guess music's just my favorite form of that.
Gosh, that's like asking a mom why she likes her kids. It's just something that, it's a way to express myself where words can't be spoken, music's there. It gives you a feeling, and that's why I love music.
Started playing guitar when I was 16 years old, and when I started teaching high school in 1970, I stopped and didn't play again for 37 years.
Piano when I was 8, played that for 5 years, so I guess I was 13, then I picked up the guitar and quit piano because that wasn't real fun, but it helped me learn guitar, and I taught myself guitar since I was 13. So that makes it like 10.5 years with guitar and 5 years with piano.
I started playing the guitar about 4 years ago, but singing has been always. My dad actually got me started. He's been the music minister at our church forever, and so I just kind of followed in his footsteps with that.
I started playing guitar by myself when I was back in college during the 1970s, and I only played it recreationally for a number of years, but about 2002 I started writing songs and playing at open mics.
After my college days were over, I pretty much played in my basement for like 25 years. And with my only fans being my family who said, "You suck, turn it down." So, eventually you want to play for real people that, might want to hear you.
And then I started playing open mics and amateur clubs and stuff like that when I retired. I get just as much out of playing, by myself. I mean, that's just a neat way to spend an afternoon. You get to go to a bar and play and not just sit and do nothing. I get more nervous going to the dentist than I do playing in front of a crowd like this.
Oh, I usually get applause. Sometimes people get real silent when I'm singing because they're listening to my lyrics, and I enjoy that. And sometimes people compliment me right after I've played.
The music business is a tough business, as you'll find out, as your friend will tell you. It's just hard to make a living in the music business anymore. I mean, most of the people that make money now are writers.
Work in a warehouse, boring. It's not a place for an artistic mind like myself, but I gotta make money. I can make instrumentals and stuff on the computer. The first thing I started out doing was dancing and playing instruments. Then I got into singing and rapping and all that. So I can produce I can produce any genre. Like I can do hip hop, indie rock, R&B, pop, anything you want me to do.
No, I learned early music was just a rough way to make a living. That was, that's like being 5'5" and thinking you're going to be a professional basketball player. You better just do it for fun.
Doesn't everybody? I do, of course. I'll go where it takes me.
To cherish every single moment I receive.
Viola is my trade. That's what I'm best at, and I just picked up the violin. I went to college at St. Olaf in Northfield, Minnesota, and I toured with their orchestra. We went to Spain. I've also played in a music festival in China, Japan, and then I had a previous gig on a cruise ship, and I was in Spain, France, and Italy for 4.5 months playing. I love learning about different music and different cultures. I think it definitely brings people together. I moved to Simpsonville to live on the couch of my brother's house so we could put our act together. And so I got a job waiting tables, and it was such a nightmare. I was in spin class at Simpsonville Sports Club. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna charge everything to my credit card and be a street performer, and I was way happier after I made that decision, It seems kind of like a silly thing, like, oh, follow your dreams and be a street performer, but I don't know, like, I was so much happier. I almost panicked because what I do on the street, I need a battery-powered amp, I need my electric violin, and the city of Greenville, they're really strict on battery-powered amps. I think I'm the only street performer that is allowed to have one. And so I was nervous. I was like, what am I going to do if they don't grant me this? But thankfully they did. If they didn't grant me that privilege, I probably would be waiting tables at another restaurant, unhappy with my life, kind of lost. I'm kind of glad I had that experience. It pushed me to think outside the box, and now I'm doing something I love, and like I love my life now. I just play up there on Main Street. You wouldn't believe like the facial expressions, like the awe, like, little kids going by and saying, oh, that's like what I want to do when I grow up, to their parents. And I don't know, I just like the happiness it brings to other people. This past weekend, my identical twin and I were on top of the Cooper River Bridge playing for a 10K, and we were, playing high energy music as the runners were running by. So it would like, lift their spirits up, get them moving, and we started a dance party on the bridge, and it was awesome. But that's kind of like a one-of-a-kind gig. But I'll play at bars, I'll play at different open mic nights. I feel like I get a way better reception on the street than at the bar, because a lot of people at the bar are either, watching like the sports or not paying attention. They could care less about the violin. Some people like really like me and like come to me, approach me at the bars, but I get a way better response on the street. I definitely love the interaction I get with the people walking down the streets. When I play in my favorite spot, it's really boomy, and I get a crowd right away, and I feed off their energy. People love to ask me questions, see what I'm all about, and I love just interacting with people. I did have a gay couple offer me a bed in their house because they thought that I don't know, they thought I guess I didn't have a suitable living condition, and they bought me pizza and they fed me. I did not take them up on the offer, but I've also had other sweet old ladies come up to me and just offer either a room or, dinner. I guess think that I am homeless, or I don't know what they think. I'm like very financially secure from doing this. I kept a log of the days and, the lunch hours or the evening hours that I would play. If I'm out there for the whole day, like, I can generally make like $700. So it's awesome. I think I'm content playing on the streets. My twin and I have definitely wanted to perform together, and we're gonna fly to Warsaw, Poland, June 14th, and we're gonna play for a showcase and hopefully be guest entertainers on cruise ships. I definitely see myself performing with my brother on the cruise ships for at least a year. and we recently formed an electric string quartet. We missed the audition date for America's Got Talent in Charlotte, but we made a video and we sent it in, and we're still waiting to hear back. So who knows? I'd love to like have my own show in Vegas performing with our quartet. I have big dreams. I can't believe where this has taken me already. Someone on the street already came up to me, and I guess he has connections with the Ellen DeGeneres show, and I might get on there. Hopefully we'll be on America's Got Talent. There are quite a few like opportunities I've gotten just from performing on the street. Like Scene on 7 picked me up and I didn't even know. They emailed me the link of the clip they had me on. Also, I think York Carolina picked me up. They were doing a shoot of local restaurants downtown and they had me play. And so, I mean, I'm getting a lot of like coverage. I've been in the newspaper. I think this is just the beginning. Who knows?
I think I probably would because of the passion I have, but it's not the most logical thing, you know. Yeah. I mean, but when you love something, I mean, it's kind of the same thing as like a female when you fall, you end up doing anything for her, but it's like, you know, it's not working out. It's kind of the same thing with music, you know. It's illogical, but you'll do anything for it. It's kind of like that. So.
I'd probably start doing that. With the price of gas right now, that's extremely hard to do unless you have a little money saved up.
I actually tried to make it when I was in college, and that was back in 1986 when I graduated, and I quickly learned that poverty sucks, and I did not have that level of commitment to live in my car. I like to have a nice living quarters and nice food and nice clothes.
I don't think I could live out of my car because like I like to be clean and like showered, and like in the morning I instantly like I have to like brush my teeth like I'm very like hygienic, or so I feel like icky. So like that's the only thing that would prevent me from doing something like that.
Around 4 years ago, we sold all of our possessions and we moved to another country for a little while, sort of started traveling abroad. And we had a guitar and accordion in our possession as we were traveling abroad, and started writing music while we were living abroad. And when we came back to the U.S., we decided to tour and play the music around. And we've changed instrumentation since then, but that's how it started.
We play like, sort of like indie chant tribal folk music. Somebody once said that we play like Tibetan ayahuasca bluegrass. That's how they talk. But it's really unique. Like we're using like totally different instruments than we've ever played before, and it ends up being kind of like tribal and chanty but poppy at the same time. We do a lot of what's called the DIY circuit, which is like do-it-yourself circuit. So we play a lot of like punk houses, regular house show venues, gallery spaces, community centers, stuff like that.
We live out of our car in a sense, but we don't really get hotel rooms very often, almost never, and we just will stay with people that we've met at the shows.
Yeah, and we actually have a blog that's called Where We Slept, and it's a picture of every single place that we've slept in the past like year, because I just started it last year, because I forgot how weird it is to sleep in a different place every day, and how people are like, how do you do that? And for me, it's just what I do. And so now we take a picture every morning of our bed, and it just shows like hundreds of floors like across America.
We kind of just stagger our lives with, we'll be on tour for a while and we'll just sleep in people's homes and people that we've met or friends. And then when we are really tired of touring, we'll usually buy a plane ticket to either another country or to somewhere around the U.S. and we'll live on a commune, or we'll find a job and work on a farm. So we haven't had an apartment for years. Yeah.
But I mean, there are trials and tribulations. Like we're getting tired. It's been 4 years, and like we never have any privacy. We're a couple. That's hard. Mm-hmm. But we're making a transition now where we can like have a little nest in Richmond, and we've ended up making a lot of friends all over the country through doing this. And it ends up being more of like a relationship than like a fan-star relationship. Less but I mean, you can kind of tell that people are checking up on you on things like Facebook and get a sense of who wants to stay connected and who doesn't. After the first year of playing music with our first album and touring, we realized sort of the power of a musician, that people sit and listen to you, they listen to what you're saying, they listen to your album in their car, and it becomes part of their soundtrack for their life and like their psychology in some ways, like their messages in your music. And so we try to be more intentional with our second record to really help make it like a manifestation of the good that we want to help create in the world. And with that has come this ethic that we have, that we don't want to, it's not about money, it's about sharing our music, it's about sharing our art, meeting people.
We make just as good money, if not sometimes better, when you depend on just kind of the kindness of strangers. And
grew up in Southeast Asia, and my parents were in Bangkok and in Laos, Vientiane, Laos, and Cambodia, and Saigon. And I was in USIS, which was a U.S. information agency, one day, and my mother took me to a concert there. And I heard these guys, Addison and Crowfoot, and they were fabulous. And I was like 5 or 6 or something like that, 7. And I never looked back. It's an alternative lifestyle that brings the creative energies first, and everything else is subordinate to that. You're going to play music and you want to travel and you want to play shows, great, you got to live in your car. Unless you have a camper or a big van, or you have a big record deal, and you can do that. But I don't, and I'm not sure that's all that important. I was on the road so much that it made no sense to. I had a beautiful house in Silver Spring, Maryland. Gretchen and I had a fabulous house right on 16th Street. You know, it was $3,500 a month, and then with utilities and all the other stuff, it was about $4,200 a month. And I was only there 4 times in 4 months, so it just didn't make any sense. And I don't like motels, because by the time I finish work, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and you have to be out by 11. So that's insane. And so I have a little Blazer, and live in the Blazer, and I've gotten really good at sleeping, sitting up, and hey, once you wake up, you're already up. I know where my music does well. So I'm good in the South, I do well in the North, I do well in the Northeast, I do well in the Midwest, and now after we do this, I'll be heading out to West Texas. So I'll be in Austin for 2 nights, and then Dallas, and then Little Rock, and then Athens, Ohio, and then Chicago, and it just keeps on going. And these are all places I've played before, so it's really a repeat. You know, I've got a good circuit established, and I just keep playing that circuit, and that's been very good to me. But gas is very difficult, and that transportation is challenging and difficult. Some people can't. If you want to do this, you can't have too much fear. I play for free all the time. The point is to be playing, make friends, and play music. The point isn't really to, you know, if you really wanted to make a lot of money, then you would probably not want to do this. But that's, you know, money isn't the end all to be all. It's all moment to moment, show to show. Sometimes when you have a good show, you know, you can walk away with $1,500 or $2,500, then that will last for a while. But even when that kind of money comes, nothing changes. I'm still living in my car. I don't know how to stop. They're like, why can't I do that? Or they're like, show me how to do this. Or they're like, you're insane. Or they're like, you know, that's a lifestyle that I would probably enjoy. And it always comes from people who feel trapped, who are surrounded on all sides by manifestations of greed and avarice in a world that they didn't create, but they have to function in, and the underbelly is terrible. I have a wonderful fan base. They take care of me. I stay with them. They feed me. They give me bedrooms. They give me all kinds of wonderful stuff, and they buy the CDs and they support what I'm doing, and they like to hear what I'm, the songs, and they follow it. And some of them have been following me for years, and it's really remarkable. And they know the words of the songs, they know some of the writing, they know the stories, and they're great. And you can't be there without them. If you focus on the outcome, you're going to lose. Never get attached to the outcome. Don't look for the outcome. Just keep playing, show up, do the best you can, don't worry about it, and it all works. It's working for me.
It means everything. It's like my passion. It's everything. I mean, music is pretty much the only thing that can make me happy when nothing else can.
I think that music is very powerful and it moves us to do crazy things, but if you love it, then it's what you love and you'll do it till the day you die.
Everybody loves music, everybody has fun because of music. There's just nothing bad about it.
Well, I mean, everybody loves music. That's the great, that's the great uniter. That's what brings people together. I mean, music is like what breaks down barriers and brings cultures together and brings people together. And it's like, poetry and music are like the language of the soul. It's how people can connect with one another and how you can get real direct messages across without it sounding preachy or too intense. Music is the language of the gods, in a lot of beliefs they believe that God is just a sound radiation, is just like a frequency of sound, and I think that there's a lot of truth to that sound is divine.
Music by itself isn't much. It has to have two people to have an experience. And you don't get any better doing this sitting in a room. You only get better by playing, and you only get better by playing live. And the whole point of music is that it is fleeting, it is transient. That note is not there anymore. Once you hear it, it's gone. And you need cumulative experience to really have some sort of a residual effect. And the whole point is to communicate. I don't know any better medium to do that, and you control it all. So, it's up to you. You don't have to rely on anybody else. You sit down, guitar, great song, and change the world. Look at the Beatles. 172 songs in 8 years that absolutely changed the world. The whole point is to keep playing and to be involved in it. If you're not in the scene, you're not on the scene. And if you're not in it, you're not of it.